morning. In today's video, I'm going to assess what a listed property is, and additionally discuss how to find out if a property has an official graded listing. So to start with, you would have to look on this website here, which is called Historic England. If you just Google Historic England, and here you find some fairly detailed and helpful information on their website. Specifically, this section here is worth a closer read. I'll leave the link in the description notes. Here, one can see exactly what a listed building actually entails. And obviously, it would have to be a property with architectural or historic interest and value. It's important to understand if a property is listed in regard to matters such as planning, future enhancements and improvements to a property. And as you scroll down here, it will give you further details on how the listing process works and how to find out if a property is listed and some other guidance. The interesting part you can see here is there are actually different categories of listed buildings aside from just grade 2. So here you can see there's a small percentage, only 2.5%, of grade 1 listed buildings. And as you can see there, those are rated of exceptional interest. Whereas if we look at the next subcategory, that's grade 2 star listed assets. And again, those are categorized as particularly important buildings. There's only quite a small percentage of grade 2 star listed buildings. Now the third category here, which is probably the one that most people are familiar with, and that's just conventional grade 2 listed buildings. As you can see, there's 91% of listed buildings which fall into that category. Moving on, if you're actually looking to search and see if a property is a listed building, you can look under this feature here, Map Search. Just type in the area or the street name and then search. And if we look at my example here, I'm looking in an area called Hornchurch. And then what you can see straight away, all of these markers show all of the listed properties in this area. You can see the High Street, and here we've got St Andrew's Church. And what you can actually then do is just click on the little icon, and here it will show the heritage category. You can see this is actually a grade 1 listed building. If you refer back to the previous screen that we looked at, this would indicate this is an asset of exceptional interest. Now, just a quick side note, it's not always conventional properties or buildings which are listed. Sometimes it can be just landmarks. It can be gate railings, memorials, and items such as that. And as you can see here, to show this is a listed memorial, which here you'll note is a grade 2 listed feature. So again, if we just click here, and then we can view this entry, and then you can see here, Hornchurch War Memorial. Then it will give you some overview and background information on this listed asset. This dates back to 1921, and this is a grade 2 listed feature. And what we can then do, if we scroll down to this section here, this will give the official list, details, the entry number, the asset location, and the district council. Additionally, it will give you the reasons why this was designated as a grade 2 listed feature. Then it will also give you some history on the site and the surroundings. And as you can see here, it looks like a member of the public that's actually taken a photo of the memorial back in May 23. And they've sent that into Historic England just to get added to the comments and photos section after being validated. Another quick example of a listed asset for you. So if we look at this property here, Spire View Court. Again, this is located in Hornchurch. And this is a grade 2 listed property. And here you can see this is more of a grand looking property and was formerly a care home. Now, the interesting part with this property, this was actually converted into a block of flats from the former care home. What one can actually gauge from this listing detail as well is shown in this specific information section. Here you can see it was a timber framed house. You can see how many stories, and it even goes into more specific criteria about the bay windows, the roof, and other features of the property, such as the tiles. So whoever got planning approval to convert this property into flats from the former care home would have actually had to apply for planning approval, not just for the conversion, but for works or alterations to listed protected features. This would ensure that they protected the historic elements of the building. Just quickly, to show you how one can check this planning information, Here you would just go on the local authority planning applications page, and we're looking for Spire View Court. Here you can see there's actually tree preservation orders on this site as well, which needed planning approval. But specifically, you can see here the planning application for listed building consent and for replacement timber box sash windows. These are the kind of things that you have to be aware of if you're going to be buying a listed property. And because all of the shown items of that property are protected, you would have to apply for planning consent to make changes or additions to that property. Now, just a quick example of what one might perceive a listed property to actually look like. So here we can see an example in Front Lane, Upminster. If you scroll down to the property description, you can see for this property it says, while boasting original features dating back to 1774. As you also look through the property description, you'll note it doesn't actually say that this is a listed property, but one might expect that it could be because the original features are going back so far in time and from the property appearance. To check to see that this property isn't indeed listed, we can just do the same again as before and look in the Historic England Map search feature. So we're looking in Front Lane in Upminster. It's actually this property here. And as you can see, there's no little marker that indicates that is a listed property. For a different example, if you were looking at a property which is actually advertised as a listed property, but you wanted to check exactly what features were covered under that listing, here's how you go about checking that. So here we can see this property here in Lavenham, Suffolk, which is an area with a lot of listed properties. Straight away, you can see in the description, this is an end of terrace grade listed cottage. And they also tell you this property actually sits within a conservation area. If you want to check exactly what features are covered in this listing, go back to Historic England and then you can view this list entry. And here you can see this is the cottage we're discussing. And then we can go to the official list entry section. And here you can see the actual details. So again, a timber-framed property. And it also references the roof tiles, the glazing of the bars, and original block windows on the upper story. And it also refers to the chimney stack. All of these matters are things one has to be mindful of if you are interested in buying a grade listed property. Additionally, a lot of these older properties are not very energy efficient. And governments around the world, and in the UK as well, are actually bringing forward quite a lot of legislative changes in regards to the energy efficiency of a property. So you need to be mindful of this moving forward because a lot of these older style properties won't have very good energy performance ratings. A lot of estate agents don't actually show energy performance certificates on property advertisements to check this, unfortunately, particularly on older style properties. So it's always worth just double checking with them to see what the EPC rating is. If the listed property has a very low energy efficiency rating, it may well be that you have to spend a lot of money making improvements to that property to bring up the energy rating. Currently, listed properties are EPC exempt, but discussions are underway to make alterations to this in the future. But I digress, and we'll do another separate video on that in the future. Hopefully the video today has been insightful and will give you some further help and guidance on listed assets. If you have any questions regarding this, please get in touch. All of my details are on screen now. Thank you for watching.